to Let's Chat, the Tennessee Valley's premier show focusing on lifestyle and entertainment. Welcome to Let's Chat, the Tennessee Valley's premier show focusing on lifestyle and entertainment with Jess Raby and Chip Chapman, bringing you smart shopping tips, community events, and the newest trends. Now, let's chat.
Happy Friday. We made it to another weekend. It is June the 12th. I'm Chip Chapman, and nice guy that he is. You remember yesterday we got to spend a few minutes with Mike Keith from the Tennessee Titans. Mike has agreed to spend a few more minutes with us this morning. Mike, thank you again.
Good morning.
I got a couple of questions, and then we'll kind of shift gears here a moment. Yesterday, we were talking about all of the changes the Titans are going through with COVID-19 and all of the complications that brings. One thing we didn't get a chance to discuss, what happens if one of the Titan players, one of the Titans coaches, or heaven forbid, you get diagnosed or exposed to the coronavirus?
Well, I think at this point, Dr. Alan Sills, who is the chief medical officer for the NFL, has already laid out that he thinks it's going to happen, that some player, coach, somebody associated with the NFL is probably going to come up and test positive for COVID-19. And so what we're going to do is what other people are doing as we go back into the workplace and try to get things straight, and that's quarantine. And we're going to test frequently. We have the ability with our medical teams in the NFL to test on a very frequent basis. Whatever the cost is going to be, we're going to do whatever we have to do to take care of our players in particular. And so I think that's going to be what it comes down to. Now, from an NFL roster standpoint, you have a certain number of players who have to be inactive each week. You'll have 55 players on the roster, but you can only have 48 who are active. So
Right.
7 guys are going to be down anyway. And that prepares for the eventuality of an ankle injury or shoulder injury, or in this case, somebody contracting COVID-19.
Wow. Hopefully not you, none of the
Hopefully
Titans
not me,
players
no.
or the staff comes down with this. It is, we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope and pray that does not happen. Shifting gears here just a moment. Congratulations. You are going to be inducted into the Tennessee Hall of Fame coming up in August. Bob Keith, the voice of the Vols, is the one who dropped that bomb on you. Were you surprised?
When I saw Robert come walking through the door, I knew something was up. When the voice of the Vols, Bob Kessling, shows up at St. Thomas Sports Park, the home of the Titans, I'm like, okay, something's up here. And it was fun. It was funny how they did it, because I was supposed to do an interview with a player, and actually a former player, who's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He is not a player I know well. He only played for us for 1 year.
Right.
He was notoriously prickly to be interviewed, and so I was very nervous about doing it. I worked a long time to get ready for it,
Right.
and I said, okay, I'm ready. I've got a good angle. This is going to be a good interview. And I'm sitting in the radio studio where we would have done the interview. And they said, no, we got a technical problem. We need you to do it in the TV studio. I'm like, fine. So I walk out there, and as I come through the door, the first person I see is my mother. My mother? My mother's never been to St. Thomas Sports Park. And then I see my wife and my brother and everybody
Wow.
I work with. And I'm like, okay, so they got me good. And
Well,
it was the most special part of the moment for me, was to learn in that way, and I appreciate the effort to which they went to make that happen.
Now, you were telling me back in your earlier radio career, one of the guys that was instrumental in you being where you are today was Larry Stone from Cookeville. Is that correct?
Larry Stone and I partnered to put together Titans Radio. We started together in 1997. Larry now owns radio stations in Cookeville. The irony with Larry is he's from North Carolina. He attended UNC Chapel Hill, and that's where my son ended up going to school. And so Uncle Larry was a little proud of Matthew Keith. But we're like brothers, and he's meant so much to me. I mean, there's no way that I'm in the position I'm in without the contribution of Larry Stone, who I think he'll be a Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer before it's all said and done, too.
Well, why don't we ask him? Larry Stone is actually on the phone with us this morning. He's been doing a little eavesdropping. Hey, Larry, welcome to the show.
Chip, it's good to be with you and this future Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer.
We had to pull a surprise. We had to pull another surprise on Mike.
Well, I think the most telling part of what I've heard in your discussion on this Friday is the worry about Mike getting COVID, because Mike is such a big fan of buffets, and that would be one of those places where you might catch the COVID.
So Larry, you and Mike go back a long ways, and he said you're like brothers. Tell us something most people might not know about Mike Keith.
Okay, that's dangerous.
Yes.
We are like brothers. It's so interesting that he said that, because I've thought about that a lot. And we, as strange as it's going to sound, we really grew up together. I mean, we both kind of started in this, never having been involved in the NFL, and both in our 20s, right around 30, and now I remember the weekend that Matthew was born, and it was actually an Oilers trip to Seattle to play the Seahawks, and Matthew was born that weekend, and now Matthew is at the University of North Carolina, one of the great universities in all of our nation. No
Here
bias.
we go.
But we did grow up together, and to see how Mike grew into the role and the things that he has been able to achieve, and he's changed a lot, and I think I've changed a lot, but we've kind of gone through those steps together, and so the brother description is an accurate one.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's certainly been my honor to help have a little bit of a family reunion here between Larry Stone and Mike Keith. Guys, we only have a few seconds left. I want to thank both of you for stepping up to the plate this morning, or to the buffet, however you want to put it. And Larry Stone, you are one of a kind. Mike Keith, you are also indeed one of a kind.
Larry, hope you win.
You win too, Mike.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, we're going to let you guys continue this discussion here. We've got other business to take care of. We are in for a quick break. Mike Keith, again, thank you for yesterday and today. Stay away from buffets. Stay away from the coronavirus. Larry?
That's the goal.
Everything, all of that applies to you as well.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, Chip. Thank you.
All right. Two of the greats in broadcasting, Larry Stone and Mike Keith. And, of course, we get to carry the majority of the Titans game right here on CBS and News 12 Now. We'll be back in a moment.